Alright, this is my first video, so I'm I'm I haven't really decided on what I'm gonna call the channel, but I'm thinking about King Totem for, I don't know, that's just what I came up with. So my very first what if is gonna be, what if Deku was the god of quirks? And I haven't really seen a lot of videos. I know it's a thing and people have done it before, but I think I'm gonna be original about it, do something no one's done before, but I can't be certain. So if you know someone who's done this before, they have good tastes. So let's just get into it from when Deku was born. Now, when Deku was born, nothing changes that much. He's still the son of Inko, and Sashi's still not in the picture. But his hair will be different. His hair is kind of like the purple you see in the on screen, the kind of purple of the webs. That's gonna be that kind of like the color of his hair, and that's just because I'll explain it later. So he grows up and nothing changes. I'm not gonna have him get his quirk like he's I say god of quirks, but he's not really a god. It's gonna be like a quirk, but it's way overpowered, and it's gonna be called god of quirks. So he doesn't get his quirk early, so pretty much everything is the same. But so when he's 4 years old, we'll say, so we'll say Bakugo gets his quirk first. So Bakugo, he's just hanging around, and all of a sudden explosions start coming out of his hands, and everybody crowds around him, and he's getting a huge ego. I mean, it's growing by the second. And Izuku thinks this is amazing. He's so happy for his friend. But as he sees these explosions goes off, a huge explosion comes out of his hands, and everybody's blown back a little bit, like physically and mentally. That was amazing. But also, how does Izuku also have explosions? So everybody's just thinking it's a coincidence, but the teachers are kind of that's never happened before, and that's kind of weird. So Bakugo and Izuku go to the Quirk Dollar together. Inko and Mitsuki, they pick them up together and they go to the Quirk Dollar. This is stressful. Okay, so while they're at the Quirk Dollar, Bakugo gets his quirk evaluated, and the doctor says it's very good, and that he can most likely be a hero with such a flashy quirk. But when they begin to talk about Izuku, they admit that they're very confused, because the way the quirks works is they're able to see the quirk gene when magnified enough, and usually you'd expect it to just be, think of it as an orb. Think of it as a singular orb containing your quirk, your power. Unless it's a mutation, then you can see slight variations, but you'll also have this center cell, think of it, and it's independent, and that will be the quirk. And that's just the more in-depth way. I mean, there's also the way with the toe, So they saw that he had the toe, and they knew, so they knew he had a quirk, but and usually they just say he's a late bloomer or something, but since that he has the same quirk that Bakugo, the other kid, had, they but stronger, so they really want to know what his quirk is, because it'd be like a copy quirk, but whenever you copy, you immediately get a stronger variation of that quirk. So they do a little bit more research, and that takes a little bit longer, so it takes a few days. So now it's just Inko and Midoriya. So they're at the quirk doctor, right? They're back, and Inko's kind of worried because she doesn't know what's going on. She's a very innocent woman, and she kind of thought he was going to be quirkless or have a super weak quirk, but knowing that he has the same quirk as Katsuki and it's stronger is very confusing to her. But the doctor, he's super excited, and he says that he has a theory, because no, forget that, he doesn't have a theory. He begins to explain that Izuku's cell that you'd usually expect to be a singular. I don't know why I'm saying cell. It kind of looks like a cell, and it kind of is a cell, but it's not a cell. It's kind of like a soul type thing, but you can see it. I don't know how to explain it. But instead of just having one, he has, let's say his is like an infinity sign. Like, literally, it's not one, it's like an optical illusion. Like, whatever way you look at it, it looks like an infinity sign. And if you look at it from the correct angle, you can literally see an infinite amount. So it's very confusing. They're not really sure. Man, I just made that up. That doesn't really make sense, but we're gonna go with it. So they're confused, obviously, and they want to do further testing because this is very intriguing. But Inko, no, she's already scared. She doesn't even know what that means. She's worried. She can live with Izuku has an explosion quirk. So they go home, and while they're going home, man, I haven't really done much. I'm bad at dialogue. I've always been. Okay, never mind. This isn't about me. So while Inko and Izuku are in the car, Izuku's kind of messing with the explosion quirk, and he's kind of learning. And he begins to talk to his mother, and he's like, Mom, why do I have explosions like Bakugo? I mean, it's really cool, but don't you and Dad have telekinesis and fire? And Inko's like, yeah, we do. It's kind of weird, but I mean, who knows? It could be some kind of cool copy quirk, maybe. I mean, I still kind of wish you had my telekinesis. And Izuku, he being the person he is, he's kind of sad that he can't be what his mom wants him to be. Obviously, Inko didn't mean it like that way, and she loves Izuku no matter what. But Izuku's also a very nice person. He saw it that way. Not like, getting depressed over it, but he just wishes he could be exactly what Inko wants him to be. So he's a little bit bummed. He stops playing with the explosion quirk and just kind of starts looking out the window. And as they get home, we'll say Inko begins to cook dinner, right? And all of a sudden, she falls. She flips the thing. She slipped. She's not chubby anymore. Oh, I don't want to be rude to Inko. She's best mom. But I mean, Izuku's 4. He has a quirk. We'll say she's taller, and she slips and hits a cabinet. Stuff falls out of the cabinet, right? And Izuku's seeing this, not wanting his mom to get hurt, and having the previous thoughts of the telekinesis quirk, because that's what he was thinking about. He was on the couch still thinking about that. He used his mom's quirk. He pulled all the things. He doesn't have a strong telekinesis quirk because that's not his mom's quirk. He literally has his mom's quirk, but stronger. So it's a moderate telekinesis quirk, but it can only push and repel things. I'll say that. It's a little bit stronger, so it can pull and repel. So he repels all the cups, and there were some knives up there, antique knives. No, what am I saying? Yeah, it was glass cups. We'll say that because I don't want to be plastic or something. Because then why would he be so scared? So yeah, it was glass mugs and stuff, and it's falling on Inko, but he just repels all of it, just shoots it, and it all cracks against the wall, and he immediately thinks he did something wrong, and he's like, "I'm so sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to." And Inko is just blown away. She runs up to Izuku and picks him up, and is like, "That is amazing. Izuku, how did you do that? You have my quirk." And so Izuku immediately gets that bright smile and is like, "Are you proud, Mom? Or can I be a hero?" And she's like, "Of course you can. You have unlimited potential. You have 2 quirks. We need to go to the quirk doctor right away." So they go back to the quirk doctor. And the quirk doctor is the same one as before. He is shook. He's shooketh. I mean, first this kid had an explosion quirk that was powerful than the boy sitting next to him, which they're not even related, which weirded him out. But now he has his mom's quirk, but stronger, but he can also repel. So yeah, that's better than just pulling stuff towards you. I mean, so he really wants to do more testing because he's thinking back to that infinite symbol, and he's like, wow, okay, I'm kind of bullying to, I'm kind of getting a thought. What if he has like infinite quirks? And he's like, nah, that's impossible. So he just says he's completely confused, and like maybe he has some very advanced copy quirk, but he should probably work hard trying to find out the drawback, because there should always be a drawback. And Izuku's quirk, I'm just gonna explain it because it's kind of been it's like there's no reason to keep it a mystery. His quirk, being the god of quirks, is usually whenever people do what if Deku was the god of quirks, they do it like where he can create quirks, or like he has all the quirks. And that's kind of what I'm doing. He will have all the quirks, but that's because like he is connected to every human being. He is connected to all of them through the quirks. And that's why, the web, like he is connected to all the quirks in the world, literally. And all he has to do is think of that quirk. Literally, like if he thinks of his mom's telekinesis, he got it. He thought of Bakugo's explosions, he got it. He doesn't even have to think of that person. Like he just needs to feel for the quirk. Think of the quirk, and then he got it. And not only that, but he can also somewhat, not really, but he can get like a connection to that person. So he's more connected to Bakugo and Inko now because he shares their quirk. Okay, so yeah, that's his quirk. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So I'm doing it for my approach to What If, but we're gonna continue on. The doctor's just completely confused. He's like, get out of my office before I have a mental breakdown. Just leave. But Izuku's like, can I be a hero? And he's like, please be a hero. The world will fall if you ever become a villain, because you have 2 quirks. They're stronger. I cannot for the life of me find a weakness. Just leave. And so yeah, they leave and they go home. Man, I am really stressing this out. He's still 4 years old. Okay, we're doing a time skip. Oh no, we can't do a time skip. Okay, so the weakness of this quirk is, like I said, all he has to do is think of that quirk and use it. So if he like loses like control of his emotions or his feelings or his thoughts, and they go rampant, well, I mean, like he can connect to too many quirks at once because he does have a limit. Like if he gets scared or something, he starts thinking of like all the ways he can get out of this, like, but he has to maintain like control, because if he just thinks fire quirk, he's gonna shoot fire with a fire quirk. He has to control himself. So yeah, he has a fire quirk because he just thought about that and shot fire and nearly burned the house down. Yep, Minko and Izuku are in the living room right now, and now the table is on fire because he thought, man, I wish I had my dad's quirk with fire rating, and he barfed up some fire. Yep. So yeah, he's gonna live his life up till I don't know how old they are, but we'll say it's like the final week of school before UA, before the 9 months. And Bakugo and Izuku, they're like thick as thieves. They're like friends. They're best friends, honestly. Because Bakugo, he has an ego, but he knows that Izuku is infinitely better than him. And see, he wouldn't accept that if he would have. But since he like grew up with Izuku and like he grew with him as he became strong, he knows he's strong, but he can understand that Izuku is just stronger, and that pushes him to become stronger. So we're gonna say he's like 2.5 times stronger than Kennen, something like that. And Izuku, he has a lot more quirks. don't know. I'm not gonna tell you all the quirks he has. I'm probably just gonna use it like whenever I feel like he wants to use a quirk. But yeah, you know he has telekinesis, explosions, and fire breathing. But he has more. He has a lot more. But the only, remember his downside. So he's definitely caused some destruction, and there are a few people who kind of fear him, like his classmates. But they try to push that to the back of the head because he's a nice guy and he's powerful. So yeah, and they're like, let's yeah, they, over the 9 months, let's see, yeah, Zuko takes a shortcut because we're gonna say it just happened to be Inko's birthday, and so he separates from Bakugo, and he's just walking, he just hears this strange sound coming from the sewer, just like, I'm not gonna do the sound. But he hears some kind of gurgling sound. He looks over, and then he uses some kind of sensing quirk. Right? He senses it, and he knows there is something there. So he gets ready, And then the sludge villain pops out and just circles him. And then so Izuku cracks the ground, trying to make a barrier. But and he thinks he's safe. He can't see. What am I kidding? He has a night vision quirk also. So it's dark. You just need a stone dome around him, but he can see in there. And the sludge villain is trying to get in. And then All Might, he just hears from the outside. And then just the dome gets exploded. And he gets sent flying back, cracks against the wall. Jesus Christ, what just happened? He's dazed. He opens his eyes. And All Might's right ahead and oh, I'm so sorry, young boy. And then Zuko, he catches his senses. He has a few healing quirks. He's All Might! He's not as big of a fan. Let's give him a break. He just got hit over the head. He sees his hero. He's a little extra fanboy of New York. Nowhere near canon, but yeah, he's still hyped to see All Might. How long is this going? I really don't even know how to check. 17 minutes. All right, we're gonna wrap it up real quick.